Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this new masterclass. And today we're going to be covering a few interesting words, all very much finance related in a way, but doesn't matter if you don't work in finance because these particular words are going to be useful for you no matter what, no question, right? And so as usual, Alistair is here with me. Hi, Alistair. How are you doing?
Hi, Daniel. Yeah, back from the holidays.
Raring to go. Raring to go. Good. So yeah, we've got a few words here, haven't we? And the first one was interesting, partly because of pronunciation issues, really, wasn't it? We were thinking about what to do this masterclass about, and we came up with this one word where the B is silent, and that particular word is debt. Okay, debt.
Yeah.
To be in debt. Okay. Now, the way it's written, which is DEBT, makes it very tempting for probably not only Spanish speakers, but most people learning English in general, to pronounce that B. And so there's this sort of danger of just pronouncing that B in particular, right, Alistair?
Yeah, debt. So many of my clients, students have very often said debt with the B, which is normal. It's there, but unfortunately, as in many cases in English, it's a silent letter. So we don't pronounce it. You have to write it, obviously, for spelling. But the word is debt. So there's no B sound. It's like it's spelled D-E-T, debt, but it isn't.
That's right.
It's D-B-T.
Yeah.
So this made us think about, well, an expression to be in debt. So to get the right preposition, está en deuda. No? So you are in debt. And most of us, especially if you buy a house, well, most of us in our life at some point, whether buying a car or some expensive item, especially a house or a property, at some moment in our lives, we're all in debt, usually to the bank.
Yeah.
So it's a useful word, debt, and obviously in business, finance, very common word, apart from in your personal life. And it's to get that pronunciation right, debt, and the expression to be in debt.
Exactly. Which is another key moment where it goes wrong, isn't it? Is that preposition to be in debt. So not only the preposition, also the pronunciation. So that's what we can probably practice. That's what we will practice in the
challenge.
In the challenge, yeah,
and the
absolutely. Yeah.
There is actually another preposition because you've got to be in debt, and then you've got to be in debt to someone. So you can be in debt to a friend who lends you some money, or obviously the bank. It's the most common one. Most of us, unfortunately, for many years of our lives, are in debt to the bank. Yeah. Or you could say, I have a debt with the bank.
Yes.
So depending how you phrase it, it can be to have a debt with someone or with an entity like a bank, or to be in debt to someone or to the bank.
Yeah.
So depending how you use the word, you change the preposition. So you're always in debt, but then it's a question of you have a debt with someone, or you have a debt, you are in debt to someone.
That's right.
So that's something people maybe could practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get that right. And so it's two things. It's how the word you need to use, the correct prepositions, and the pronunciation. So sort of a double problem, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the first word for this week. But we have a few others which are actually linked to this first one in many ways. So it's going to be a very much sort of a financial vocabulary sort of challenge, but as I said before, this vocab is very general, so it's not something just for financial people who work in finance. So the next one is actually a little bit again related to debt and what you were talking about, houses and everything else, and it's a whole idea of a mortgage, right?
Very strange word.
Hipoteca
mortgage.
In Spanish, obviously, hipoteca. And it is a strange word, right? Because it obviously originates, I think, from French with the whole idea of mort, to the death, right? So you will be in debt
to the bank till you die.
That's right.
Which is more or less what happens to we all feel like that anyway when you have 25, 30, 35-year mortgages.
Yes.
It's half your life or more, depending when you begin, obviously. So that idea of being in debt to the bank to death or for a large part of your life is a terrible idea.
Yes.
So that's the origin, which I didn't know till you told me fairly recently, that it comes from mort, death.
Yeah.
So this is another pronunciation problem. Well, it's a spelling and pronunciation problem. So it is spelt so differently from the way you pronounce it.
Yeah.
So if you actually looked at that word written on a piece of paper, you'd sort of go mortgage.
That's
how it's spelled. M-O-R-T-G, I have to think, G-A-G-E.
That's right.
Mortgage, if you were pronouncing it in Spanish pronunciation.
Yes.
But it isn't. It's mortgage. So very different to how it's written.
Yeah.
So this is a double thing of how to spell it correctly, knowing what the word means. Hipoteca, very important word in most of our lives, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then how to say it, which is even more difficult, I think. So obviously a mortgage is a debt that you have to the bank to pay. Well, it's a kind of loan. There's another word, loan, which is préstamo, a loan. But when you have a loan for a property, it's called a mortgage. So it has a particular name. No,
exactly.
If you have a loan for a car, to buy a car, it's not a mortgage.
No.
It's just a loan.
That's
but both are debts that you have to the bank or to whatever financial institution is giving you the money. No?
That's right. So as you can see, they're all connected, those words, really, right? You've got debt, you've got mortgage, and you've got a loan. And so they're kind of, all of them very important. Two of them in particular, quite difficult in terms of pronunciation, or you can easily trip up because of the silent B and the silent T, mortgage as well. Yeah, like
there's
crazy word.
And a silent G there.
Yeah,
two silent letters.
Yeah, it's just like crazy. It's crazy. That word is absolutely unbelievable. Then, of course, you got a loan, which is easier to read and to pronounce, so that's okay. And then the last one that we also wanted to practice. What was that, Alistair? It was installments. Installments.
So usually when you have a loan, a bank loan, and particularly if you have a mortgage, because obviously it's a large amount of money paid over a very long period of time. For most people, I know the average 25 years is a very typical. So obviously you're not paying it in one amount of money. You're paying it gradually over time, usually monthly payments. And another word for monthly payments is installments. So monthly installments.
Yeah.
In Spanish would be, I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. Pagar a plazos, isn't it?
A plazos. Yeah. So people often ask, how do you say pagar a plazos?
That's right.
And it's to pay in installments.
Yeah.
Monthly or weekly or yearly installments. Usually is monthly when you pay a mortgage or a loan.
It reminds me a lot of the stories that you sometimes tell, Alistair, where you kind of say, oh, well, this particular client asked me this question, about one particular Spanish word, and it, it doesn't come to you immediately. You kind of think, oh, how do you say that in English? How do you say that word? Yeah. And I think this one is the one for me that I find suddenly difficult, They
I've
got
blind spots, you could say, where I just can't remember certain words. In fact, I can't remember what they are because I don't remember. So I couldn't even tell you. But I know they exist.
Yeah, exactly.
We have mentioned them, I think.
But for me, this is one of those. When they say, pagar a plazos, ¿cómo se dice eso? I'm like, I don't know.
Monthly payments? Which is okay, but it's not really the word.
That's right. And I was thinking, like, how do you say that? How do you say that? And it's kind of, as we were preparing for this, you actually mentioned installments. And I think that I would have found it difficult to think of that particular word. Yeah,
good word, installment. I think one of mine is stubborn. You remember?
Oh, is it?
I couldn't think of the word stubborn when people ask me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, well, I know the word, but I can't remember it. I just remembered it now, but it took me a minute. Anyway, so installments. So most people will pay a loan to the bank for a car, and particularly a mortgage.
Yeah.
By monthly or periodic installments.
Yeah.
X amount per month. No?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like maybe like, I don't know whether this is so much the case these days anyway, but certainly it used to be the case with mobile phones, expensive mobile phones. You go to kind of like a mobile phone company and they'd say, oh, we'll give you this free phone. And basically it wouldn't be free. You'd be paying in installments.
Good example. I am paying for this very expensive Apple iPhone, which I would never pay the full price for, never. But because wonderful Mobistar offered it to me at half price, I think it was approximately, still a lot of money, but half price, 50% discount.
Of course.
If I paid for it through them by installments over God knows how long, 2.5 years or something.
Exactly.
I went, okay, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm paying this phone back in installments.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Because I got a discount. If not, I wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah. Oh, so you're kind of like, you're a discount hunter then, are you?
I wouldn't say, I think it's because my brother-in-law did it and then said, oh, have you heard about this offer? You're with Movistar, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not very good at finding. Usually other people find these out.
Find
and
them
tell
for
me.
you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good at seeking them out.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so let's cover those words again quickly. The first one was debt. The second one was mortgage. The third one was loan. And the fourth one is installments. So we're going to leave those with you. We're going to hopefully get you to record something. If you do have some time, that'll be fantastic. And then, of course, really practice them live in the Thursday sessions to kind of.
So if you do your video, obviously just try to speak for a minute or two. Any kind of anecdote, story that's something happening in your work or your private life now, in the past, trying to incorporate those words, or at least some of them. No, talk about debts or installments, mortgages, loans, in any capacity you can think of, whether it's your company having debts or, you personally, or however you want. Just try to use those words. So it's a test of using the words correctly and pronouncing them correctly, especially the mortgage and the debt.
Exactly.
And that's the challenge.
Good. Well, that's it for this week, Alistair. Thank you very much. We'll definitely be looking forward to those recordings from anybody who has a little bit of time to do a bit of recording, and we definitely would encourage you to do so. But then, of course, looking forward to those Thursday sessions as well. Yeah. All right. Speak soon. All right.
Cheers.
See you then, Alistair. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.